In some ways, it's like this, to be available, to make yourself available for insight, for epiphany, for awareness, means actually, to be open as much as possible without knowing anything, without knowing what you're open for. And here's the point that I want to make is awareness, epiphany, aha, insight. That can come. Those insights can come just as much at a low point as at a high point. In fact, the insights that come when we go down, when the wave goes down, you see, everything is waving like this all of the time. Everything is waving. The highs, the lows, the highs, the lows, the medium bits, the calm bits. Yeah, this is the movement on the surface, the movement that we're involved in our lives on every different level, whether that's purely the kind of physical level, the emotional level, the mental level, the energetic level. The only thing that isn't really moving is the silent awareness from which all things of form arise and into which all things of form dissolve. But otherwise everything is waving. So, in our desire to fix things, in our desire to control things, we have our preferences. We prefer it when the wave is going up or up, and we don't like it so much when the wave is going down in the bits. But on the level of form, on the level of body, biorhythms, emotions, energies, this is going to happen. Insight, awareness, epiphany, reflection, aha, will come likely at any point on that wave movement. Yeah? So, and may well have different qualities. The quality of insight that we tend to get when we're on the crest of the wave is that sort of thing. It's like, I can see maybe the beauty, or I can see the vastness, or I can see something transcendent, and it has a quality maybe of beauty, maybe of the divine, of something to do with grace. So that's one element. None of this is fixed, and one should take everything that is said, not literally and not fixedly. But as the wave goes down, so we go down into the dip of the wave, and it's usually when we feel bad, or we feel our suffering is most intense, or the emotional, burdensome of our life, or the tight knot that we're involved in, or the suffering is so great, or the argument is so tough, or there's a deep grief, or there's a deep sense of pointlessness, or well, that's what I mean. The wave has gone down. But if you can maintain, and this is the point really of the video, but if you can maintain a certain willingness and a certain openness, and not just be locked in the resistance to it just because it feels bad, but actually to stay open to it somehow, to be open for whatever it is that it's got to show you, you might get insight into the patterns of your life. You might get insight into the the reason, if you like, the cause of your suffering, the cause of the pain, yeah, on a deeper level than previously was available to you. It might open up an invitation. It might open up a doorway that says, you know, something about the possibility of releasing this. It's, you know, the point of this is to see that revelation can come in the darkest times, not just in the times of light. Revelation can come when we've reached a critical point where it's intolerable, where the darkness is great, where you've reached the limit and you can't go on. And in that can't go on, something can happen. I have had this for myself. You know, many years ago when I was you know, on the journey, when everything was unraveling in me and I got seriously sick, and I, you know, had this autoimmune illness which was really tearing me apart. And, you know, there was a lot of fear and a lot of heat and a lot of anxiety and a lot of physical symptoms, and I won't go into those because you'll probably have to turn off. And I just, you know, I had no idea. My mental state was terrible. I was halfway between, you know, rageful and terrified of everything, of my own feelings, of life, of everything around me. And I did reach saturation point, and I've said this in a different video. And I went out and into the woods and just said, I see it, man. This, God, do what you want. Take it, take the body, just give me some peace. And I had a moment, you know, where I looked up through the trees and just saw the sky and saw the vastness of the eternal. And a sort of peace came over me. And it was very subtle, and it was very soft and very delicate. And I realized that it was actually a choice that I could make in every moment. The choice of whether to root myself in fear and rage, or to turn the other way, turn towards a deeper acceptance that this is what's happening, you know. This is what it is now, not solution based, but acceptance based. And I saw that and I felt that, and it really, you know, helped me in a sense, you know. And then it disappeared again, you know, that, and I was back in the rageful, in the fearful. But by and by, that insight started to, you know, sort of fall into me, if you like, and sort of osmotically it started to become me a little bit, because it had been so beautiful, and there was a greater peace in that choice than in turning habitually towards the suffering all the time. That's why I say there is a choice that we make. There is a choice in on this level, at least on this level of reality, there is a choice. And so I, you know, in my life I've been very grateful for the insights that I've got in the dark times, as well as the realizations that I've had in the light moments when the wave is cresting. And as long as you can hold on to the knowledge and the awareness that life is waving, and that your experience in this reality, on this level of reality, is waving, well, then you're going to know that when it goes down, it's okay. It's not the end, or it's not the worst thing. And you don't have to fight it so much. You don't have to resist it so much in preference of the top of the wave. Because if you're always living, if you think you can live just at the top of the wave, then you know, you're in the imagination. Even the greatest surfer has to deal with the wave as it falls down. In fact, the greatest surfers have learned most about their experience and about how to navigate the giant waves by coming off the board and being half drowned in the deep wave as it comes. They don't have the false expectation that they're just going to stay on the lofty wave all of the time. It's absurd. And so we have to get kind of real on the journey as much as we possibly can, to get as real as we possibly can, and to be available as much as we can, so that we start to dissolve some of the fixedness of the mind. Yeah, the fixedness that says no, or says it's got to be like this and I don't want it like this. It's like that needs to dissolve somehow. That's part of the point of this, is the dissolving of the fixedness of the mind. And so by and by, when that fixedness starts to sort of shake up a little bit, there's much more availability for insight and epiphany and awareness, and a kind of looking into, seeing the patterns of our life, and to be more understanding and kind as the movement happens. That's what I wanted to say.